Okay, we're going to start off our algebra catch-up by looking at quadratic equations first. The first thing is, up in red at the top, that is the formula for solving quadratic equations. Now, at A level, you're not going to be given that, so step number 1 is to learn this absolutely off by heart. Okay, so we're going to use a sample equation, 6 plus 2x squared equals 7x. Now, the beauty of using the quadratic formula is that we just sub in our numbers into the equation. However, our quadratic equation must be in the right order in order for this to work. It must be, first of all, the x squareds, then the x's, then the number by itself, and it must be equal to 0. If it's not in that order, the first thing you need to do is rearrange it so that it is in that order. So, for my example, 6 plus 2x squared equals 7x. First of all, I know I've got to have a 0 on the right hand side, so I'm going to begin by minusing 7x from both sides. So now I've got 2x squared plus 6 minus 7x, and that's equal to 0. And then I can see that my numbers on the left aren't quite in the right order yet, so I'm just going to rearrange the order of them. But because I'm not actually doing anything to both sides, none of the signs changed. Unless something is being added or subtracted across the equal sign, then there's not going to be a change of sign. Now that we've got it in the right order, we can start looking at our coefficients in that order. So A is going to be equal to 2, B is not equal to 7, but it's minus 7, and C is equal to 6. Once we've got that all squared away, we're just going to substitute in our values. So x equals, it says negative b, so it's negative, and the value of the b is minus 7, so it's negative 7, plus or minus the square root of b squared. So I need to put my negative b in brackets, okay, because b has got a value of negative 7. I've got to make sure that I'm squaring negative 7, not just the 7. And then it's minus 4 lots of 2 times 6. And that is all divided by 2 times the value of a, which is 2. We can simplify that just by putting it into our calculator using the fraction button, which looks like this. Okay, so that's the fraction button that you'll want to use with the quadratic formula. In this case, the two values that come out are x equals 1.5 and x equals 2. So two possible solutions there. If they're not exact numbers, as this one is, then you would round it correct to 3 significant figures. Right, so now it's time for you to try one. The example is 8x squared equals 7 minus 10x. So first of all, you're going to rearrange it into the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Then you need to find the values for a, b and c, watch out for negatives there, and then sub it into the formula. Pause the video now and then have a go at it yourself. Right, so once you've rearranged it, you should get 8x squared plus 10x minus 7 is equal to 0. And that's going to give you your a value of 8, b is 10, and c equals minus 7. Pop it into the formula, making a note of the fact that I've put my negative 7 in brackets there, just to make sure I'm including the negative sign. And that's going to come out with x equals 0.5 or x equals minus 1.75. Finally, the key is knowing when you need to use a quadratic. So you're looking out for the following terms. There's definitely going to be a t squared or an x squared, or whatever letter it is you're using, and there's definitely going to be a number by itself. There will also probably be the letter by itself as well. So it's those key 3 elements that you're looking for, and if you find them, that tells you it's going to be a quadratic. So over here on number 1, we've got a t squared, a t and a number, so yes, that's going to be a quadratic. On number 2, we've got the a squared, then we've got the a, then we've got the number, so again we're looking at a quadratic. On number 3, We haven't got anything squared in this, so that's not going to be a quadratic equation. On number 4, we've got something squared and we've got our number, so that's the two main elements, so yes, that would be a quadratic. You could, however, also solve this one just by square rooting both sides. And then over here on question number 5, we've got a squared term, the letter by itself, and a number, so again that's a quadratic. So that's what you're looking out for when you're trying to decide which one is your quadratic equation to solve. Okay, that's all the teaching done for this, so now have a go at the quiz.